Hey guys, so today we have a project pan update. I was going to do this at the end of December because obviously it was like the finishing of 2020, and then procrastination happened and I didn't get the videos out in time when I wanted them to because I don't pre-film very much. Like I don't really enjoy filming more than like 2 videos a day because I feel like I get a migraine from how fast and loud I talk. So I like to film maybe 2 max, and also then I feel like I have to keep on changing my outfits and keep on changing my makeup, otherwise all my thumbnails look the same. So I'm just like, ugh, just do 1 video. So basically what I like to do is I like to wake up really bright and early and like plan, film, edit, upload all in one day, and then I feel like my day's complete. But if I just film, I'm just like, did I really do anything? Because there's no video on my channel to prove any work that I did. So yeah, these videos came late. But to be fair, I kind of enjoy the fact that I'm doing my project pan at the start of January rather than end of December, because I feel like we're starting a whole new project pan rather than too much reflecting on the old one. I feel like, I mean, these are some similar products, but I'm definitely switching a few things up. But I just kind of want to make this like a new fresh start. So if you guys want to join me on my project pan journey, if you have as much makeup as I do, or like an unreasonable amount of makeup, you know, I feel like more than 3 foundations and it's starting to get unreasonable. So if you guys want to join me on project pan, join along. I think I'm gonna make this a monthly occurrence. I don't know if I want to do it at the start of every month or at the end of every month. I don't know, I'll think about it. I'll see how things go, I'll see how my schedule works out, and then I'll just be doing my project pan things. I want to do this every month, I want to see my progress, and I want to make a lot of progress. But I did make some good progress, I really did. I'm gonna commend myself on that. Anyway, before we get into the video, my Twitter's deactivated for mental health reasons. My Instagram was disabled by Twitter. No, my Instagram was disabled by Instagram for apparently violating their guidelines by pretending to be someone else. So I've sent in my proof of ID twice now and got a response back in French, even though I provided that my country of origin for this Instagram debacle was United Kingdom, where the main language is English. So I would assume that they would assume that I was speaking English. The assumption was not made. I was sent an email in French twice and haven't heard back from them since. So that's cool. So I have Phoebe's Instagram and I have a TikTok that I've been loving a lot. So if you guys want to go follow me on TikTok and then, you know, enjoy that, because I post the most random stuff on there, that'll be great. Because those are the last 2 platforms I have left other than YouTube, because everything else just disappeared. Also, YouTube has been unsubscribing people. My videos haven't been really hitting recommended much lately. January is always like a dry month for being recommended, and also everyone posts a lot in December, so I feel like because of the overwhelming amount of content, people tend to not get pushed out as much. I don't know, that's just a conspiracy theory I have, but I've noticed a big drop in recommendations. So if you have been unsubscribed, subscribe back. Hopefully you might want to. Turn on post notifications, and if this is your first time, consider subscribing if you enjoy this video. I'm gonna literally go across as I do my makeup, and then I'm gonna kind of keep that same vibe for the rest of the year. So I'm basically just gonna go like just as I do my makeup. That's the order we're gonna do this in. I'm actually adding 2 primers into my project pan, and I want to use these and nothing else until I finish them. That's the rule. Like, I'm not touching any other primers until these are done. Rules are put in place to be followed. Milk Hydro Grip. Let's do a close-up. I'm about this much into it. I feel like I've made some good progress. This is an airless pump, so it's so satisfying to like get through it, because you can like quite clearly see that you're not missing any product. Like, it's all being sucked up. I like this primer. I use it under everything except for my ABH Luminous Foundation, because then it pills up. This you have to apply and wait for it to dry. Like, wait a few minutes for it to dry and actually get tacky. It's kind of like glue. Like, you don't want to just slap it onto wet glue. Like eyelash glue. You don't want to slap lashes onto wet eyelash glue, because it's going to start mixing with everything and sludging around. You want to wait for eyelash glue to get tacky a little bit. That's this primer. So if you've never enjoyed it before, try it again and see if you enjoy it. And then the second one I want to use is the Colourpop No Filter Primer, which is a more mattifying, blurring primer, but it's not super mattifying. It's not super like pore filling or anything like that. It just slightly mattifies your face while also just blurring everything out, making your skin look like it's filtered without a filter. How cool is that? Just link back to the title. These are the 2. They're drastically different. This is tacky and hydrating, makes your skin look really dewy and like plump, and then this is more mattifying, blurring for those days where I need to mattify and blur. I feel like I have a good variety here to not need anything else. Then for actual complexion products, I'm going to go in with, so these 2 I have to use them together, which means we're not going to make as much progress as I kind of want to make with a foundation, because I'm having to mix 2 shades together, which is annoying. I should have bought the right shade. But we're using the Colourpop pretty fresh foundation. I was going to call it the no filter foundation. That is not correct. So I have the shades Fair 05W and 50W. I should have got something in between, like maybe a 20 or something. I don't know, but these are the two I have. You clearly can't see any progress that I've made. Like, this is embarrassing, but that's fine. I'm going to use these two together. I end up using about like a pump of this and half a pump of this every time I do my face. So I'll obviously get through this one quicker than this one, but this is my foundation of the year, so I'm going to use it all year. Then for complexion, for those days where I'm feeling like not really doing much makeup, it's what I'm wearing on my face today. Even though it seems like I'm wearing foundation, I feel like you can really amp this up just with like a bolder eye. You're like, oh, this whole thing just became like a full face of makeup. This is why the whole trend of like, you know, men that are like, I want a natural girl, and then they post a picture of a girl with a full face of makeup. Yeah, this is how we fool them. You do barely any base products, but then you put on eyeshadow and they're like, oh my god, I hate cake face. It's like, you know nothing. Don't express opinions. You know nothing. The Glossy Perfecting Skin Tint. I've been using this for a while. This is kind of the level of empty that we're at. I think maybe I have like a third of this left. And this is either my second or third bottle. I'm not sure. I can't really remember. But I started using this maybe like in 2019, I think. Like this, not this bottle, but like this product in general in about 2019. So I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 of these have been used up. So anyway, I just love this. It's in the shade G11, and I'm going to be using this all year when my skin feels more dry, or when I'm going for those more natural days where I'm not feeling like packing on foundation and blending and setting and doing all that stuff. Like, this is very unproblematic in the sense you can just like not even set it with powder, just like because if it moves around and comes off, you can't really tell the difference because it's so low coverage that it doesn't like leave patches around. Do you know what I mean? Like, foundation sometimes is a little bit more tricky to get right. For concealer, I'm literally only putting in one concealer into my project pan, and until this one is finished, I'm not putting in any other ones. So because this one is almost there. The Glossier Stretch Concealer in the shade G11. Oh, I've made so much progress on this. I'm just so happy with myself. I think this is my second or third one as well. I tend to finish these at the same time, so whatever I used of this, I probably used of this. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Oh my god. We made good progress. This, you end up using quite a bit of this because it's slightly lower coverage, but it's also so like oily. Oh, that sounds bad. Like, it just melts very quickly with like the heat of your fingers, so you end up picking up quite a lot of it, and then it never looks cakey, so you can apply quite a bit without it looking cakey. And the combo I have on today is actually the Glossier combo, and then I just set it with some powder, and then this is the effect. I think it looks stunning. I think just the way the skin looks, if you have like slightly like dry skin, or you have like the kind of skin where makeup clings to like different patches, try this combo. I mean, I know it's not very high coverage, and if that's something that's like an insecurity of yours, stop that. No one cares. Stop that. You look beautiful. Just try it. I think it looks amazing, and I think it's super comfortable. Like, I don't feel like I'm wearing any makeup on my face. Even when I set it with powder, I'm just like, I can move my face around without feeling like I have Botox because that's not the time for that just yet. Maybe in a few years' time. Then I'm putting in this powder, which is the Pat McGrath Labs Pressed Powder in Light. This has been like used and abused. It's, you know, coming off. But we're really coming to an end here. I love this powder so much. It's so beautiful. It gives me kind of like Hourglass ambient lighting powder vibes, where it's not too matte because it's got like a bit of a sheen to it. So it sets, but it doesn't look cakey, matte, powdery, messy, mannequin-like. So we're about here. I think we can get this over and done with probably by the end of this month, really. I think like that's not much left here. And it's very softly pressed, so you really like kick up a lot of product. So you end up going through this quicker, which if you're looking at like cost per use, it's probably not great with this one. It's kind of like Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palettes, where they used to be really like, you could finish a shadow pretty quickly if you went into it every day. Then I have 3 more powders because I actually, even though my skin looks really dewy, I end up using like 4 different powders when I do my makeup. I don't know, I just like different powders for different things. I don't use the same powder all over my face except for the Hourglass powder. So basically what I do is I either use a loose setting powder or something like this in places I want to mattify and set, and then I go in with a powder like this. Not exactly this is my favorite. I like the Charlotte Tilbury one under my eyes and anywhere that needs coverage, and then I go in with the Hourglass all over my face. I know it's a complicated process. No one needs this. This is just very high maintenance. So I'm putting in the Colourpop No Filter Loose Setting Powder. It's a really good powder for a really good price. I've like dipped below the translucent writing, so I'm about maybe like 2/3 down. I really like the powder. I just think it's very like light, not too cakey, not too powdery. It doesn't like create like that crepey look. Then we have the Jouer Soft Focus Hydrating Set Powder in the shade Fair, which I love the packaging. I really do. I think it's like that resin looking kind of packaging. There's like embossing on it, which looks kind of like Gucci, like the Gucci like monogram. But this isn't my favorite powder. I bought this in the hopes of it being similar to the Charlotte Tilbury powder, because I was like, oh, let me just try a few powders, see kind of how things go. And this isn't my favorite, but it's also not the worst. I don't mind putting this into the project pan. I've made like a slight dip into the monogram in the middle, but not enough to be like, oh, that's good progress. So we'll see where we're at by the end of the month. Then the Hourglass Ambience lighting powder. I was gonna say setting powder, it's called lighting powder. In diffused light, it's just, I think it's the lightest shade they have. Well, one of the two lightest shades they have. And it's just like this. Can you tell if I've made much progress? I mean, the packaging is kind of not making it easy to show you guys, but there is like a bit of a dip kind of up here, and it's kind of higher up here. So I'll make some good progress and then I'll show you guys. Actually, you can see a bit of pan on the side here. Then, this is exciting, guys. This is extremely exciting. Butter bronzer, Physicians Formula. Today was the last day that I was using it. Can you guys believe it? I finished it. That stuff in the middle is not bronzer anymore. It's just kind of like it just like stained the metal, I guess. So I'm finished with it completely. This is going into an empties video. How exciting is that? I don't do empties videos enough because I have so much makeup that it's usually just skincare that I finish, because I don't buy that much skincare. And this is the old packaging as well. They've changed the packaging since I got this, and I think I got this probably like almost 2 years ago. This is the Butter Bronzer in Light Bronzer. I hope that the shade that I'm giving you is the same shade that they have now. Like, I hope they didn't reformulate it or anything. And in its place, so I'm trying to go kind of like in chronological order. I don't really buy many bronzers because they're not that exciting. So I'm just going in order of how I got stuff. This is the next bronzer that I think I got. And it's in the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit palette, which was the Ghost one from 2019, not the 2020 one. So like I said, I'm going in order. And this bronzer is Eternal Bronze Light. Maybe they have this in a single if you guys want to buy it. I used a bit of this, but then I had to finish off with this. So this is like what I'm wearing on my face is like a mixture of these two. But this is one of my favorite bronzers. I really like this, and I like this shade for me, but obviously get whatever shade matches you. But this is Eternal Bronze Light. This palette is missing the powders because I used them up. But with this, you can tell that you can see the pan on the sides. So that means we're making progress. Also, in my project pan, I'm putting in this blush, which they've actually released in a single in 2020. So if you want to get that one in a single, it's called Sublime Flush. It's one of my favorites. It's what I'm wearing on my face today. I just think it goes with every single look. Like, it doesn't really matter what I do. This is going to go with it. And I'm also, if you look at this blush compared to this blush, this one's much like flatter than this one. So I made quite a bit of progress. Like, I got some of the dome off, and you can see a bit of the pan kind of on the side there. These are the two powders that I'm putting into my project pan. This is the bronzer I'm going to use, and then this is the blush I'm going to use wherever I can. But obviously I like to switch my blushes up, but I've been making an effort to only use this because I want to see how much can I use up in a month. So I'm going to try every time I do my makeup to use this one and see what the progress is. I've been going at this for a while, but for the last, I'd say like 2 or 3 months, I haven't been using setting spray much because I don't leave my house. We're in tier 4. Tier 4, there were only supposed to be 3 tiers. One is, you're doing great, have fun, go party. Tier 2 was supposed to be, you can go to work, but like don't go clubbing or anything. Tier 3 was supposed to be stay at home, everyone's off work. Somehow London came into tier 4. Tier 4 was not supposed to exist. I don't know where tier 4 came from. Are we just gonna keep on adding tiers now? Like every time it just goes worse instead of sticking to the tier we're in, we're just going to add more tiers and hope for the best. I don't know. So I just don't put in setting spray because I'm like, what's the point? What am I setting? I don't know. But I'm almost finished with this. I promise. I used it today. This whole face, except for the Super Shock Shadow, is my project pan. Like, everything on my face is somehow these products. I used this today. I mean, it looks fine, doesn't it? It looks quite nice. I just forget to use it. The Veil Soft Focus Setting Spray from Hourglass. Do I think you should get this? No, it's overpriced. Only get it on the sale and if you really want to. But would I recommend it? No. Purely for the price. I think it's outrageous how much they're charging for this thing. It's like 40 something pounds. You can get a pair of shoes for that. A setting spray. Half of this goes outside of my face. I don't know. Anyway, I like the way it looks. So if you have, like I always say, if you have money burning a hole in your pocket, then go for it. I'm not going to stop you, but personally I would say you can get something else for a much lower price. But it's almost finished. And in its place, this is going to be confusing, right? This is the Fenty What It Do setting spray, which is one of my favorites, and I forgot to mention in my 2020 favorites video, the Fenty What It Do setting spray truly was my favorite of the year. I just completely forgot about it because I didn't repurchase it after I finished it, and I bought it at the start of the year, so so tough. Anyway, I poured in the Kylie Christmas setting spray from 2019. That's why it's yellow and it's got like a bit of like shimmer going through it. It kind of looks like a lava lamp. Isn't that kind of mesmerizing? Look at that. Wow. Anyway, I have this much of it. So I've used up about this much, and then that's how much I have left. So after I'm finished with the veil, with setting sprays, I'm going in kind of like chronological order as I got them. That's how I'm using them up. So after this one comes this one, and then we'll keep it moving. So those are all complexion products essentially, and then we'll go into more eyes and lips and stuff. I usually don't put eyeshadow palettes into my project pans, but I kind of want to have like a palette of the month kind of a thing, just to see how much progress I can make on it. So my palette of the month is, and I'm going to switch these up. I'm going to keep one palette probably throughout the year, but I'm going to switch these up just kind of like whenever I feel like it. But I'm picking in the Norvina palette. I haven't used my ABH palettes in so long, like so long. I remember my first big palette, like my first palette that I got myself was the Soft Glam, and I love that thing to bits. I've like hit pan on 2 of the shades, but I'm picking in the Norvina palette this month. I just, it's what I have on my eyes today, except for the Super Shock Shadow. Obviously that's not part of this, but what I ended up using was Love in like the crease, as you can see, like the beautiful pink, then Soul kind of like in the crease to deepen things up and make it more purple to blend into the purple Super Shock Shadow, and then Base and Incense to kind of blend out the edges, and then I mixed Dreamer and Wild Child on my finger and used it on the inner corner to give the gold a more pinky look, but just to tone it down so that it doesn't cause like a cast. And I just did the same on the lower lash line, and then on the actual eyes I have a Super Shock Shadow from the set of 9 that came out for Black Friday. It's one of the purple ones in there. You'll know it. It's like purple with like blue reflexes. I think I love this look. Oh wait, and then once I applied the Super Shock, I realized that it's like a little bit too dark for the kind of what I have going on in the crease. So I took Drama, which is like a burgundy purple shade, and I just with my finger tapped it out on the outer edge just to add some cohesion and drama into my eye look. And I'm kind of excited to use this. I forgot just how much I love the ABH formula. It's such an amazing formula. Like, it's so good. This old formula needs to come back. It needs to make a reappearance because the new formula for the Norvina Pro palettes just is not it for me. I love this formula, and I love the packaging. I love the suede. I never really get it as dirty as other people do. Maybe I just didn't use my palette enough to make it that dirty, but I love this packaging. I love how simple it is, which is the white writing in the middle. Like, I just think it's, go back to this. I like this. So I'm gonna pick this one for this month and then just see how much use I can get from it. And like I said, these are so softly pressed that you like see a dip almost immediately. Like with the Love one, I think I've used this palette twice, maybe 3 times since I got it. And like with the Love shade, you can already tell that there's like a dip in it. For the whole year, I'm going to keep a certain 4 palettes into my project pan for all year. These are the palettes. These are they. These are they. The Viziot Neutral Mattes 01 is the one I'm keeping in all year because I think this is like the perfect staple palette. Like, this is it. It's got the transition shades on top. Why does it look so washed out? Oh, here's the transition. There's like a white base, like beautiful, like not white, but like a bone white, maybe? Like an off-white for just like setting the brow bone and the inner corner. I love doing that. And there's 3 transition shades for a pale girl like me because some palettes just go a little bit too deep for me. So because they run quite deep, I just use these 3. And then there's a warm toned, like a row with like a bit of a neutral kind of on the sides, but like definitely warm in the middle. And then there's a cool toned row with a black. I think this is like, do you need any more than this? No, you just need like a shimmer shade and you're fine. So realistically, you could buy this, even though it's quite expensive. I think you could buy this and just 1 Super Shock Shadow and you'd be set for like years, realistically, like years. I just really like this. I like the formula, I like the color selection, I like the packaging. It's slim, it's small, it's compact. There's not like an outrageous amount of shades. I don't know, I just want to keep this in all year because I've been using this alongside many other palettes that I use. I don't use it today because it doesn't really go with the pink and the purple, but I've been using this with like all of my Pat McGrath palettes because they run quite deep with the matte shades. She doesn't put many matte shades in, and when she does, they're quite deep so that they pack a punch so that she doesn't put in like a beige, you know, like that's not very Pat McGrath. And I just think because she's obviously a black woman and this is a black owned brand, it would be silly if she actually put in like a beige as one of the mattes. So one of the 3 mattes is a beige. No, she puts in like very punchy shades and I appreciate that, but I do need a transition shade, which is where this comes in. Then I'm keeping these in all year and I'm just going to use them. So these are the Pat McGrath quads. I was going to call them trios. No, there's 3 quads, not 4 trios. The 3 quads from last year Christmas, so 2019. I'm losing track of time at this point. Like, what is last year? This is Nocturnal. Oh, I hate that with the Pat McGrath palettes, there's never a name on the back. How am I supposed to know? And she comes up with such like fancy names. I'm like, I can't remember. This is, I think, Nocturnal Nirvana, maybe? It comes with like a turquoisey blue, a purple, a green that shifts to purple, and then a yellow gold. So this is the most adventurous one out of the 3. I like to use these as just accents. So for example, like I said, you know, you can get a super shock shadow with this, or you can just use one of these. Then there's this one, which is my favorite. I can't remember what this one is called, but it's something to do with the rose, I think. Rose Risque or Risque Rose. Comes with a yellow gold. Down here is better. Yellow gold, like a coppery brown, like a hot pink. And then this is a yellow to baby pink shift. And this one's one of my favorites purely because it's so glittery and chunky, but you do need a glitter glue for it. And then this one's the last one. I can't for the life of me remember what this one's called, so I'm not even gonna make guesses here because I'm just gonna make a fool of myself. And this one is actually one of my favorites. I thought I'd like this one the least, and then I was debating not getting it at all because I saw the swatches and I thought they were quite lackluster. I know. But then I got it and I really love it. There's a brown. I love this brown. It's beautiful. There's a coppery shade, which I also love. It's beautiful. There's a burgundy, which I love. It's beautiful. And then there's this one, which is the most special of all of them. It's quite chunky. You do need a glitter glue, but it seems like the most like average one of them, but it just makes your eyes look like you're in a fairy tale, like Disney makeup, you know? So I'm going to keep these in all year and just try to use them and try to get my money's worth because they're expensive. And then for the month of January, and I'm going to see if I want to keep it in further. Actually, I might keep this in all year. What's stopping me? Nothing. I'm going to use the Super Shock Shadow in Ritz, which is an ultra glitter formula. This one is falling apart. I got this not too long ago and she's broken. It all keeps on popping up all the time and I'm not entirely sure why. I mean, I don't think I ever left it open accidentally, but maybe I just didn't close it properly. Anyway, now that I've swatched it, it's just like a beautiful cool toned champagne-y. I've blended it out quite a lot. You can make it more punchy, but this is stunning. I love it just in the center of the eyelid or when I'm doing like a more cool toned eye. I'm probably going to keep this in all year just to see if I can maybe finish a Super Shock Shadow in a year. Has that ever been heard of? I don't know, maybe I'll like properly hit pan on it. And also because it's already broken, I feel like maybe I'll just use it up to make sure that like I don't, you know, completely lose it. I should have put this before the eyeshadow realistically, but oh well. MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. I've had this for way too many years for it to be going around my eyes, but living life on edge. This is how much I've used up. I've used up quite a bit of it. I love this. I think it's such an underrated product. I feel like everyone used to rave about it in 2012 and then people just moved on to better things allegedly, and I still love this. If you apply this with a sponge or a brush, stop immediately and use it with your finger. That's all I have to say. It will stop looking crusty and dry and it will stop clinging to patches if you just go in with your finger, wipe it off so you don't have too much on your finger, and then just tap it in. I just found that that's the best method for this and it applies so evenly, so beautifully, so buttery. Also, if it dries out, use Duraline and just refresh it. And then you'll have this for years, like me. Not that I recommend that. If anyone asks or if there's any legal issues, I didn't recommend it, but like I kind of recommended it. Then for eyebrows, I'm using, okay, so I'm putting in the Colourpop Brow Boss Gel, which is very like starting to really dry out. So I think this is gonna be its last month. And then the Lottie London Art Tribal, which has quickly become my favorite eyebrow product. I really like this. I think it's amazing. It's one of those 3-prong pencils, and it just, if you don't have too thin of eyebrows, if you just need some like just a slight filling in, I only fill in like the fronts here. This is amazing. It does it in like 2 seconds. You literally just 2 swipes and you're done. Then into my project pan, I'm putting in the KVD Lash Primer, which is almost finished. I think by the end of this month we'll be done with it. And then Hourglass Travel Size Caution Mascara because I want to finish it. Then for those natural days, I'm going to put in the Glossier Lash Slick, which is also coming to an end. It's getting quite dry. And I just love this for natural days. I love this when I'm wearing like barely any makeup. So I'm going to keep it in. And then once it's over, I'll just buy it again. Because it's one of those mascaras that even when I'm using other mascaras, I like to keep this one on standby. The last thing for eyes is I want to keep in one pencil, like eye pencil, for the rest of the year. And then obviously when I do colourful eyeshadow looks, I'm going to do colourful eyeliners in my waterline. But just one staple for the whole year when I'm doing just like average natural makeup. And I'm going to put in the Colourpop and Raw Beauty Kristi pencil in Woodsy, which is just a brown. I think this is a staple brown for me and it's going to be a staple for all year. I have quite a few lip products because I'm always very undecided with lip products. I'm probably going to use other stuff than this, but these will be the products I'm like focusing on, and then if I need to use something else, I'll use something else. So I have 3 pencils that I want to use for 3 different occasions, and I'm hoping maybe I can get through them. Last year I finished a pencil that is back here just in 4-4. And so 2 of them are Kylie. I have a lot of Kylie pencils and I want to get through at least some of them so that they're not drying up in my shelves. I feel like one of these like glidey pencils dry up very quickly and then they start falling out. So I want to finish these as soon as possible. So I have Kylie Forever and Always, which is the one I finished in 2020. But I had like the limited edition packaging, like the pink stuff. This one's just the regular packaging. It's just like a, how would I describe it? Like the perfect mix between pink, nude, and brown. Like I think this goes with any lip look I want to do. You can really blend this out and then it just blends into your natural lip color. Like you can see, like it's pinky, but it's browny, but it's nudie. I just think that that's why I used this one up in 2020. I'm also using the Kylie lip liner in Ginger, which is for more of those like autumnal, like I'm doing more of a browny, orangey lip look. I see this one's already falling out, like it's coming out, and that's what this one looks like. It's just like an orangey brown, and oh my god, I've been loving using this one. I don't apply it too like thickly, because then thickly is the new word we're using, because then it looks quite deep. I just kind of like apply it and then I just gently blend it out, and then it just does that beautiful orangey thing. And then the last one is the Colourpop Lippy Pencil in Cool BFF, which is my cool toned pencil of 2020, and that's what it looks like. These are so creamy. It's a very similar formula, I'm not gonna lie to you, and the Colourpop's cheaper than the Kylie, obviously, and they're made in the same factory, I think. They both have that creamy consistency, so just get Colourpop tea. This one's what that looks like. So those are the pencils I'm using this year. Then I have, for natural days, I have the Charlotte Tilbury, one of these like lip balmy things that she came out with recently in the shade Pillow Talk, and it's just one of these. Apply it to my hand. This is what it looks like. It's shiny and glossy and beautiful. It just looks amazing on the lips. Oh my god, I just scraped it. You can blot this and make it look super natural. You can like pile it on and make it a little bit more pigmented look. Then we have a Mcgrath lipstick, because I want to get my money's worth. It's from 2020 Christmas collection. It's in this beautiful packaging. It's in the shade Omi, and it's just like a pinky nude. It's what I'm wearing today. I think it looks quite nice. And then I'm wearing this on top, which is going to be my lip gloss of the year, because I love these lip glosses. They're my favorite lip glosses. The Charlotte Tilbury, the new ones that she came out with, not the old ones, in the shade Opal Magic. It's the lighter one of the two that I have. And then I'm going to put in, for those matte days when I'm feeling like a matte look, I'm going to put in the Colourpop Luxe Velvet in the shade Room Service. And it's just like an orangey nude, which goes perfectly with Ginger, like the Ginger lip liner. That's my project pan. Please join along if you want to. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below anything you want to comment down below, and subscribe to this videos every time I think of something to do. Save that bell, you'll be notified when that's happening. Social media links, not many of them, and any of the links will be in the description. I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.